Hello and welcome on this Friday.
On the programme this evening.
Partners in crime. On the left, the businessman who refused to pay his debts. On the right, the friend who helped him launder at least £3 million to live in a mansion packed with gold.
A schoolgirl appears in court charged with attempted murder after two pupils and a teacher was stabbed at a school in Manchester.
We've got a lot of potholes, which isn't very good when you're in your car, is it, you know?
What matters in Makerfield, looking ahead to a by-election next week where the people certainly won't let any politicians pull the wool over their eyes.
I feel like really helpless, like I can't breathe at all, and I start panicking, which normally makes it worse.
How the changing seasons can mean misery for Miley. We pay a visit to the hospital trying to heal the planet and their patients at the same time.
An evening with the animals at Chester Zoo, the treat in store for some of our region's most deserving children and their families.
And in the weather, after a cloudy start this morning, an improving situation, and the weekend is not looking too bad, so I hope you're ready to lap it up. The details to follow.
So first tonight, it's taken 2 years, but two men who masterminded a major fraud have been brought to justice.
When Tariq Sarwar realised his business was about to go bust, he had no intention whatsoever of paying his creditors and the tax office the money he owed them.
Instead, with the help of an associate called Christopher Francis, he laundered his money to fund a lavish lifestyle in a Cheshire mansion.
Well, our reporter Tim Scott was at Manchester Crown Court to see the two men sentenced. Tim, tell us, how did they get away with this?
Well, Katie, they did it by subterfuge and a network of complex business dealings. The two men at the centre of this case were responsible for fraud and money laundering to the tune of around £3 million. 59-year-old Tariq Sarwar on the right enjoyed a lavish lifestyle, living in Alderley Edge in a 6-bedroom mansion, complete with a gold-plated dining room. But his property business dealings have seen him jailed. Disqualified as a company director for 11 years in 2013, he owed at least £1.6 million to creditors, and despite being disqualified, he acted as a director of two companies. They were Willowclough Limited and A Property Management, which he ran for 10 years. In that time, the companies bought Langley Mill Business Park in Salford, as well as the old police station in Stockport. Then, as HMRC closed in on Sarwar for unpaid tax, he sold the business park for £5 million. Over £3 million of that money was then fraudulently transferred to a food and drinks company, whose director was the second defendant in this case, 40-year-old Christopher Francis. The Insolvency Service investigated the pair and they found that over £1 million from that deal had found its way back to companies linked to Sarwar and his family. It had been laundered by Francis. The pair made millions of pounds through a web of different companies in order to cover their tracks, and the Insolvency Service believe there may still be yet more money to be recovered.
He knew the company was in financial distress, and before the company got to liquidation, he fraudulently removed assets and then used a contact, Christopher Francis, to launder the proceeds of that fraud through a network of companies.
Christopher Francis was sentenced to 25 months, suspended for 2 years, and he'll have to complete 250 hours of unpaid work. Judge Peter Hogan told Sarwar, "You demonstrated a real arrogance by ignoring your disqualification. What runs through this case is your proclivity to do what you want." He sentenced Sarwar to 4 years. Katie, Rob.
Tim in Manchester tonight, thank you very much.
Well, next, a 14-year-old girl appeared in court charged in connection with the knife attack at a school in Manchester earlier this week.
She appeared before magistrates at Westminster this lunchtime. Emma Sweeney's been monitoring this story for us. Emma, what charges did the girl face?
Well, she faces 3 charges of attempted murder, 2 against fellow pupils and a teacher, as well as 2 counts of possessing a bladed article on school premises. Now, the 13-year-old cannot be named for legal reasons. Today, she appeared via video link before Westminster magistrates, and she spoke only to confirm her name, her age and her address. Now, she was denied bail, so she was remanded into youth custody, and she will next appear before the Old Bailey at the end of next week.
And Emma, do we know any more about the condition of those who were injured?
Yeah, well, the 3 individuals, a 14-year-old boy, a 14-year-old girl, a 27-year-old teacher, they were all taken to hospital following this incident at the Co-op Academy in Blakely. They have all since been discharged from hospital. Greater Manchester Police says now that counter-terrorism officers are now looking into what has happened, although this has not been declared a terrorist incident. The force said that searches relating to the investigation remain ongoing and that counter-terrorism detectives are keeping an open mind as to the possible motivation behind this alleged attack. They say that they are there continuing to support the local community, while also making the point that they do not believe there is any wider threat to the community.
All right, Emma, thank you very much.
2 other stories making the headlines tonight, and it's been announced that the criminal investigation into the IRA bombing of Manchester is no longer active, nearly 30 years after the attack. 200 people were injured when the Arndale shopping centre was targeted in 1996. No one has ever been charged. A review was launched a decade ago, but counter-terrorism police say all lines of inquiry have now been exhausted.
A man in his 20s has been arrested on suspicion of arson after the home of an imam was targeted in Bolton. Police were called to a property on East Grove Avenue at around 9 p.m. on Wednesday. No one was injured. The man remains in custody.
2 men have been charged after protests in Liverpool city centre earlier this week. Police say a door and windows were damaged at a hotel and a group was chased and verbally abused on Tuesday evening. Robert James Scott, who's 46 and from Stanley Road in Bootle, has been charged with burglary. Jake O'Toole-Klusky, who's 19 and from Hornby Boulevard in Liverpool, has been charged with a racially aggravated public order offence.
Now, in just a week's time, one of the most watched political battles will be over and the North West will have a new MP.
Yeah, the result of the by-election in the Wigan seat of Makerfield will be huge. Will Greater Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham return to Westminster to challenge the Prime Minister, or will another party be celebrating a big Labour scalp?
But what's it actually like to live at the centre of this storm? Our political correspondent Nisha McNally has been out speaking to people in Makerfield. They've told her about the issues which matter to them, from having to deal with a rise in racism to the state of the roads.
Wigan flashes. Lakes and wetlands formed by collapsed mines, they're a relic of the industry that used to dominate this area. But in this living reminder of Makerfield's past, people are busy pondering its future. A by-election is heading towards them, and the political undercurrents couldn't be stronger. Whichever way they go, voters here are about to steer the country in a whole new direction. Has there ever been a by-election quite like this one?
This is a very exciting by-election. The potential to potentially choose the next Prime Minister, or to deny one of the most popular politicians in the North West his chance of glory in Westminster. That is high stake. This is really exciting. It's not just a big test for Labour. I think Reform face a challenge here too. Expectations are high. If he can't win this seat, then I think questions will be asked about what happened there.
The stakes couldn't be higher. One constituency is now the bridge between people and power. So what do we know about Makerfield? Well, first, it's not just one place. It's a corridor of different towns and neighbourhoods right across Wigan, stretching from Hindley Green in the east to Orrell in the west, and the place that helped give it its name, Ashton in Makerfield, down to the south. It's a broad mix of urban and rural, from wealthy suburbs to former mining villages. One thing used to unite all these communities: voting Labour. But Brexit loosened the party's hold here, and now 14 candidates want this seat. It means there's plenty of politics for this knitting group to untangle when they meet in Ashton. So what would you really like to see from whoever wins this by-election?
I think whoever wins it has got a job to do. I think they have to deliver on what they say. I think they have to invest in our community. and make our community feel safer than it does at the moment. I've never been worried about walking the streets. Now I am a little bit.
We've got a lot of potholes, which isn't very good when you're in your car, is it, you know?
It always comes back to
I know.
I haven't heard much about local issues, I'll be honest with you. The main focus seems to be, people seem to be just talking about the fact that Andy Burnham wants to be Prime Minister. But people say that can only be a good thing for our town. It's a very standard little northern town, but it's nice that little northern towns are getting to be in the spotlight.
Makerfield defies simple political categories. Home ownership is high here, but deprivation can be too. Just down the road, this community centre runs a pay-what-you-feel cafe, along with a food bank and affordable clothes shop. And times are tough.
There's people that come in and that might be the only meal they have that day when they come in for their lunch here. The food bank, that's very necessary. We have a lot of people that need to use that. And these might be things that politicians aren't necessarily aware of. So it is important that, you know, we can get that across to them, really.
You've got politicians' attention now. What would you like them to know?
It's all very well, you know, seeing it on paper, the figures for homelessness, the figures for people having to use food banks, but to actually speak to people, interact with them, because there's a lot of shame involved as well. There's so much judgment around money.
Are you feeling hopeful about the future?
I am hopeful that there will be change, but we do have this every year, and every 4 years, don't we, at general elections, we hope for change, but it stays the same.
So the appetite for political action is here, but what that should look like is the big question. And as well as the cost of living, the recent riots have kept illegal immigration high on the agenda. At this mosque in Worsley, Mains, they're not surprised, but say the debate has become divisive.
The people who sort of turn up at the mosque and all have all sort of had some instances where they have been called the P word or an N word, and it has been really bad. And these people have been in the community for more than 20 years. And they've never faced this type of discrimination, this type of racism in their lives, like, you know. So whoever wins the by-election, I humbly request them to work with the community and not isolate the community, because we are part of the community.
These are sensitive subjects, and with less than a week to go, the by-election is shaping up to be a fierce fight. At this gym in Orrell, some hope it's the chance to give their community a lift.
If we can help young kids out off the streets, apprenticeships, things like that, hobbies and stuff for young lads growing up and women, that'd be brilliant, and I'd be all for it.
Others, though, are feeling the weight of responsibility and say they've had enough.
To be honest, we've been hounded in the street, like door to door, like on a daily basis. It's not been great. It's putting people under a lot of pressure because you feel like you have to.
That pressure is only likely to ramp up in the coming days as we wait to see which party gets its foothold here. Whoever wins will have to knit these communities back together after a polling day about to pack one hell of a punch. Leisha McNally, ITV News.
And a reminder, there are a total of 14 candidates standing in the Makerfield by-election. Here they all are listed in alphabetical order. The polls open across the constituency at 7 a.m. next Thursday. That's the 18th of June.
Well, it sounds like some people in Makerfield have had enough of the media coverage, doesn't it? But if you want a bit more, then there's another profile of the seat in the ITV News straight after us on tonight from none other than Robert Peston.
Now we are taking a look at how one of the North West's busiest hospital trusts is doing its bit to help heal the planet.
Yeah, Manchester University NHS Foundation Trust has made one of the most significant reductions in emissions in the entire health service, and it's largely thanks to a simple idea.
Emma's been to meet some of those wanting a healthy planet as well as healthy patients.
Sarah?
The challenges of a changing climate might not always be noticeable at first glance. But medics are seeing the effects of rising temperatures on the health of young patients. Asthma is a complex and variable disease. Some experience symptoms in particular situations. For others, it can really impact their lives. And the weather can be a contributing factor.
Do the seasons vary? Are you noticing any trends?
Many of our patients will be allergic to pollens, both tree pollens and grass pollens, and with the weather getting warmer, that can really affect our patients.
So, tube in your mouth, big breath in, or hard, long as you can, yeah?
Yeah.
Miley has suffered from severe asthma since she was 4 and uses her inhaler many times a day. Her condition is triggered by changing pollen levels.
So normally it gets worse when the seasons are changing between like summer and autumn and then going into spring with the pollen changes and everything, but also when it's really hot it gets worse as well.
And how do you feel when you're actually having an asthma attack?
I feel like really helpless, like I can't breathe at all, and I start panicking, which normally makes it worse.
Warmer weather later in the year means tree pollen can be stored in large quantities and released early if the following spring is warm and dry. Claire worries research isn't keeping pace with the changing climate.
The temperature goes up, the weather gets hot, it's dry, it's dusty. Is it pollution? Is it ozone? Is it pollen? Is it just the temperature or the humidity of the air? What's actually causing the problem? I think it's really hard to actually pin that down.
While the asthma clinic tries to deal with the ongoing effects of global warming, elsewhere, in England's biggest NHS trust, they've snipped their greenhouse gas emissions. Here at Wythenshawe Hospital, they've introduced alternative anaesthetics, which are not only better for the environment, but also give patients a better experience. Nitrous oxide is 300 times more damaging to the environment than carbon dioxide. Yet 99% of it used to be sent into the atmosphere without it ever reaching a patient. Now, instead of pumping it around the hospital in miles of pipes, it's used purely at the point of care.
Cliff, what are we looking at here? What's inside it? And why is it bad for the environment?
So this is a small cylinder of nitrous oxide, and in the small number of cases where we do feel it's necessary, we can wheel that into the operating theatre, take this blue hose that comes out of the back of the anaesthetic machine, and we can simply plug it in, and now the anaesthetic machine can use nitrous. And the reason that that's important is that it lines up the amount that we buy with the amount that we use, and it reduces the amount of waste overall.
We've saved the equivalent of sending 2 completely empty jumbo jets between London and Sydney. Making changes, making healthcare greener is actually better for patients and is often cheaper for the NHS as well. So it's a real triple benefit.
This trust is also decarbonising Trafford Hospital, the birthplace of the NHS. By taking global warming seriously, it may just help to make net zero a reality.
Yeah, fascinating, isn't it?
Just a bit.
Time now for sport, and believe it or not, there's more than one World Cup getting underway. Here's David.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the best male footballers in the planet are currently in action in America, Canada and Mexico. Well, a little closer to home, some of the world's best female cricketers are heading to the northwest. The Women's Cricket T20 World Cup kicks off, well, in the next few minutes, actually. Old Trafford will host 5 games, including a double-header tomorrow between Scotland and Ireland and South Africa against the 6-time winners Australia. Well, to celebrate, a 2-day free festival has opened up in Exchange Square in Manchester. Now, former Lancashire player and World Cup winner Alex Hartley says she's backing England as the T20 tournament returns to this country for the first time since 2009.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got in the spirit. I've had my face painted. England are playing tonight, so I was like, I've got to get the England badge, the T20 World Cup on this side. England will get to the final, and then we'll see. My advice would just be to enjoy it. Enjoy every single moment, embrace the atmosphere, embrace everything that comes your way. And a lot of the girls were in the crowd in 2017, so inspire the younger girls that you once were.
Well, with Old Trafford hosting World Cup matches, Lancashire have made Blackpool their home for their county championship game with Kent. After a rain-affected start, captain Jimmy Anderson took the first wicket of the day of their Division 2 match as they bowled the visitors out for 178 in reply. A few moments ago, Lancs were on 4 without loss. Well, next to some big transfer news for Manchester City. They've today signed England's Euros winner Beth Mead. Well, the newly crowned Women's Super League champions are showing their intent to strengthen over the summer with the addition of the forward on a 3-year deal. Well, Mead, who's 31, has a wealth of experience, winning 6 titles with Arsenal, including the Champions League and 2 Euros with the Lionesses.
I feel like I'm in a stage in my career that I need a new challenge. I think the way that City play suits me really well, and I feel like it can get something extra out of my game. And yeah, speaking to the manager, I think it was a place that I think I can really fit into and help and bring a different dynamic to the team. So it was a no-brainer for me.
Now in Super League, after wins at Wembley and Paris, Wigan are once again on their travels as they go to Wakefield tonight. While Warrington have moved to the top of the table after beating St Helens last night. They came from 6-0 down to win 18-6. Talented youngster Ewan Irwin sealed victory. And a bad night for Saints has been made worse as the club today confirmed that Johnny Lomax has suffered a broken jaw in the game. Well, next to the boxing bout that's being billed as Beauty versus the Beast, as Tommy Fury faces a former world's strongest man in the ring. Well, Tommy, who's from Manchester and, of course, is the brother of the former heavyweight boxing world champion Tyson Fury, fights Eddie Hall over 6 rounds at the AO Arena tomorrow night. Also on the bill is the former double Olympic Taekwondo champion Jade Jones, who has her second fight since becoming a boxer. Well, let's hear from both of them now, starting with Fury, who became a father for the second time last week.
Listen, it's been a blessing. It's been the best week ever. Welcomed a new baby boy into my life, and I've got a wonderful missus at home in Molly, and she understands the job and she understands what I've got ahead. I've got a man opposite me that can turn my lights off in less than a second, so I'm pinpoint. Obviously Tyson's on the other end of the phone for any questions, and he's been involved in this camp. I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm looking on to put a great performance on Saturday night for Manchester.
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. Obviously the debut was a debut of dreams, and I just love the whole week of it, you know, the circus. Like Taekwondo is very respectful, so this is a bit different. So just starting to get used to it, but I think I'm getting used to it all right.
And finally from me to the latest honour to be bestowed upon Sir David Beckham. The Manchester United legend and co-owner of Salford City is receiving a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame in LA. Well, his wife Victoria and his children, along with actor and good friend Tom Cruise, have joined him at the ceremony.
This kid from East London who had to earn his place on Manchester United, one of the greatest teams in football. He then redefined what was possible from his position. He won 6 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups, and the Champions League.
That's not bad, is it, having Tom Cruise? I never thought we'd have Tom Cruise on Granada Reports, but there we go.
Bit of star power, but you've been saying Premier League wrong all these years. Sort it out.
Thank you very much. Now, anyone connected with Chester Zoo will tell you every day there is special, but today is perhaps the most special of the year.
Yeah, because the zoo has thrown its doors open to 150 families of children with life-limiting conditions under the care of places like Alderhay Hospital and our region's network of children's hospices. Anne
O'Connor's at the zoo, and what a lovely way to spend a Friday night.
Isn't it? You'd expect to see lions and tigers and bears here at Chester Zoo, and we've got all that, but we've also got Disney princesses, Darth Vader, stormtroopers and Chewbacca. Love the hair, Chewbacca. Joining me is Joanne Durkin, one of many families here tonight facing health challenges with their children. Yes. This is Sullivan, he's 2.
Correct.
Winnie is his little sister. Tell us about her.
Yes, Winnie is 4 months old. She was admitted to Manchester Children's Hospital at 4 weeks old. She's got a rare genetic heart condition, so she's been exceptionally poorly, on the mend, not quite ready to come to the zoo, but an evening like this just gives us really valuable respite.
It does, and Sullivan's anxious to get off and see the animals, so we'll let him do that. Joining us also from Rochdale are the Al-Assad family, and Ayub is 17 years old. Ayub, telling us what you've been treated for.
Hi, so I'm Ayub. I've been in hospital now, Royal Manchester Children's Hospital, for the past 2 years. I've had a life-changing condition called acute flaccid myelitis, which paralysed me from my chest down.
And it really makes a difference coming here?
It makes a huge difference coming here. A nice change of scenery, staying away from those blue curtains and being stuck in hospital all the time.
Have a great time. Holly Webb is also here from the zoo. Holly, you're a primate keeper.
I am.
You're one of the staff that is giving your time voluntarily here.
Yes, so we've got a great team here at the zoo who are giving their time up. There's so many staff getting involved. We've got amazing characters and companies that have given their time up as well to be here, so it's just an amazing atmosphere for everybody. Obviously we're a conservation charity, so it's great to be able to help all the other charities in the area.
And it's brilliant to see the kids' faces.
It's the best thing ever, honestly. It's just the most amazing experience. It's, I think, everyone's favourite night of the year here. So.
And they'll get to go round all the animals, they'll get free food and a little chat with you about keeping the animals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy to talk about primates. But yeah, there's loads going on, face painting, handimals, so many areas of the zoo getting involved, so it's really amazing.
Well, from here, I'm going to ask everyone to give you a big wave. Big wave, everyone. And we'll end by asking R2D2 what he thinks of it all. I couldn't agree more. From Dream Night at Chester Zoo, back to you.
I couldn't agree more as well. Anne in Chester Zoo, thank you very much indeed.
We've had all the stars on tonight,
Brilliant.
haven't we?
Tom Cruise, R2D2, what more could you ask for?
And Chewbacca. Well, the sun is shining there in Chester. Let's see if it'll continue. Here's Emma.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada Weather.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Hope you've had a good day. The weekend's here and it's not looking too bad at all. Mostly dry, bright, fine and sunny. I think Sunday's the better day of the two, and although we have a breezy evening at the moment, the winds will slowly be easing down on Saturday afternoon. So like I say, on balance, I think Sunday's going to feel like the better day. So rewinding to the next few hours, a fine end to Friday. Overnight, a little bit of cloud increasing at times. I think largely we're going to stay dry. Those temperatures a bit fresher than they were last night, and that keen westerly continues. Into Saturday then, the sun's up 20 to 5 in the morning, sets about 20 to 10 in the evening. And overall, it's not a bad start to the weekend. Yes, one or two glancing showers on the flow. They'll be fairly isolated, though. There'll be some cloud and some brighter or sunny spells around. I think the feel is very much going to depend on where the cloud breaks. Temperatures take a bit of a dip tomorrow, 15 to 17 Celsius, but it's going to continue breezy, gusts around 35 miles an hour, and then the winds slowly start to ease later on in the evening and overnight period. The showers continue for a while Saturday night, but then the high builds from the south. As I say, those tend to ease then, and so Sunday, a mostly dry day. Temperatures begin to rise once again to around 18 at 64 Fahrenheit, and with the lighter winds, I think we will feel the benefit of the sunshine. Monday is very much a rinse and repeat day. The cloud from time to time could turn the sunshine a little bit hazy. There's fairly high confidence that this is how Monday is going to turn out, and it will feel a bit warmer as well, with highs around 22 at 72 Fahrenheit. Low confidence on Tuesday. We think there will be some showers around, but nothing too potent. Here's your pollen.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada Weather.
Making the most of summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
On then to the pollen report now. Today's high grass pollen counts take a bit of a dip tomorrow, but then start to increase again with the finer weather Sunday into Monday. That's it. Bye-bye.
The sun's coming back. Love that. Thank you, Emma. That is just about it from Granada Reports.
We're back with a late update after news at 10. Hope you can join us. Until then, good night and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Good night.